This is a nonpartisan analysis from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget.
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 And the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget put out some predictions the other day. If you add up all the promises you've made, and your plans would add $7.5 trillion to debt.
It is estimated by the Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget that your economic plan would add $3 trillion to the federal deficit over the next decade. How are you going to pay for that?
According to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt, while so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt.
Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget says Secretary Clinton, under your plan, debt would rise to 86% of GDP over the next 10 years. Mr. Trump, under your plan, they say it would rise to 105% of GDP over the next 10 years.
Now we turn to a true expert on the federal budget. She is Maya McGinnis, president of the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget.
We had Maya McGinnis on earlier.
When you look at all of the borrowing and you subtract all the offsets, you're still looking at borrowing of over $3 trillion.
You know what I love about you, Maya, and this is a compliment, you're a nonstop pain.
The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget had a palpitation when they saw this plan and ran the numbers themselves.
The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget estimates extending the student loan payment pause would cost another $40 billion.
The Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget says that this bill will add between 3.3 and 5.2 trillion.
CBO says this is going to add $4 trillion to the debt. Actually, 3.9 trillion, but who's counting?
Of course, this made big news, but the Committee for a Responsible Budget says that will mean increasing deficits by $1.6 to $1.8 trillion.
Student debt cancellation could cost taxpayers up to $1.4 trillion.
The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget has derided this claim as fantasy math.
And so if we don't get our fiscal house in order, it's going to be tough to get either inflation or interest rates down.
When you come up to that debt limit, you risk default, and default would be disastrous. It's just going to be really difficult for them to come up with the kind of revenues to offset the big tax cuts they want to do.
Chris, this could be a confusing topic for folks sometimes, so we do appreciate you breaking it down for us this morning.
The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget is admirably independent, and at times they are an equal opportunity afflictor of both sides of the political divide.
Right now, we have hit our credit card limit as a nation.
According to the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, this would cost $200 billion.
If you look at the Congressional Budget Office, or if you look at the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, it shows that.
The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, by no means a liberal group.
The president of the Responsible Federal Budget Committee.
What is that group for the Committee for a Responsible Budget?
The Committee for a Responsible Fiscal Government.
Bipartisan Citizens for a Responsible Federal Budget.
The executive director of the CFRB, the Responsible Budget Committee.
Thank you for the work that you've been doing. I think a lot of us really appreciate it.
Maya, don't go far. We're going to need you for the next couple of weeks. You've been the one truth teller for months and months. Thank you very much.